Hello there everyone, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you aren't. My name is EDJ, and we're continuing with Epic History TV's series on the Napoleonic, era. So, before we get started, I actually want to ask you guys for your opinion. All of you fellow history buffs. I don't feel like you guys are like fans, I actually do feel like a lot of you who watch these videos are more like history buffs, fellow people interested in history. I don't feel like I have that, like, oh, I'm a YouTuber and I have subs. Like, I kind of just see you guys as just fellow history buffs. And I guess more equal in a way, which, I don't know. But either way, so my fellow history buffs, I kind of have recommendations because I know we're still kind of into the Napoleon series, but I'm kind of trying to think of, I've been thinking where to go to next after Napoleon. We have covered Alexander the Great from Epic History TV. We are covering now, Napoleon. And I'm thinking we're going to keep up this little trend of following conquerors. Technically Hannibal, if you count Oversimplified's the Second Punic War videos I did reactions on. So technically we covered a lot of Hannibal. So I'm thinking next conqueror, great military leader to follow after Napoleon. And I kind of want you guys to pick. Now, the latest recommendation came from, a commenter on this channel named William Crawford, I believe. I know it's William first. Forgive me, I've got your name wrong, dude. But he recommended the Julius Caesar from Historia Civilis. So, Julius Caesar, we technically covered Rome through Dovahati, but this would be an in-depth look of Julius Caesar. So if you guys want me to either look at that after Napoleon, or we cover Pyrrhus. Pyrrhus? I say Pyrrhus, but I'm pretty sure I'm not completely correct. But either way, this one wasn't recommended to me, but I kind of have been hearing a lot about Pyrrhus, and I've kind of want to cover him because all I know about him is that he fought Rome. I have not looked at anything related to him because I want to kind of remain how do you say, not completely, I want to remain blind and kind of learn along the way. I'm not sure if you guys like it, if I know what I'm talking about before we go into this, or if I go in completely blind, but if we do the Fire series, I'm going in blind. I don't know anything. So feel free to please ask. Like I said, Fires wasn't recommended to me. This is just a passion reaction I would do. Just, I kind of recommended it to myself. From Kings and Generals is the YouTuber's name. So, feel free to vote, either one you pick first, I'll jump to the next one after, so, either way. So yeah, I'm so sorry for that long diatribe. I just kind of want to ask your guys' opinions, which one you think would be more interesting for me to look next. But with that said, let's get back to Napoleon. Now, the Battle of Jena, I don't know the specifics of, but I do know it takes place during the War of the Fourth Coalition. I believe it was after Austria, the Battle of Austria, that essentially Austerlitz, Battle of Austria. It's Austerlitz. That was the last video, but bleh, I'm already losing the ability to speak. But yeah. So after the Battle of Austerlitz, which we covered last time, Austria threw in the towel. They were like, we're done, and that kind of marked the end of the Third Coalition. But I believe it was Prussia joining that event that kind of set off the Fourth Coalition, or at least they were, active. This is where they stepped in big time in the Napoleonic Wars era, is during, the War of the Fourth Coalition. And, I believe Prussia had a famed military reputation, because I believe it was Frederick the Great who was Prussian, and I believe it was because of him mainly. Again, I don't know a lot about Prussia. I'm not even gonna pretend with you guys. I don't know junk. I was like confused. I was like, is it Germany? Like when I was Googling it years ago, I was like, what the heck is Prussia? Like, but so I'm lost and try to learn what it is. Germany, yeah, it gave me a headache and I kind of gave up. But point is, I believe it was Frederick the Great who preceded Napoleon, who was before Napoleon, that kind of helped Prussia earn a lot of military clout. And I know Napoleon completely humiliates him after. But point is, yeah, that's Prussia. That's the extent that I know. And yeah, essentially they fight, and that's kind of all I know, guys. This intro has gone on long enough. I think we ought to get into it. So, I want to give credit where it is due. I do not own this video. This is all Epic History TV. If you want to watch this video without my face, my little circle in the corner here, and without me constantly pausing just to talk about what I think about it was going on, or random crap that pops into my head and I decide to tell you, feel free to watch the original video. You will see down in the description down below a link to it. First thing you'll see. And with that said, let's just get right into it. Let's watch Napoleon Smashes Prussia. Jena? I'm pretty sure it's Jena. Pretty sure. 1806.
An Epic History TV History March collaboration, supported by our sponsor, The Great Courses Plus.
The Great Courses
Plus,
Plus,
In December 1805, at the Battle of Austerlitz, Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of the French, won a crushing victory against the joint forces of Austria and Russia. Napoleon now dominated Europe, able to hand out spoils as he saw fit. In February 1806, he sent an army led by Marshal Massena to overthrow the King of Naples, who had dared to side with his enemies.
Massena, MVP of the Italian campaign. Yeah, like I said, I don't know about all of Napoleon's marshals. Mainly, I've had Massena as #1 ever since we watched the reaction of Italian campaign Massena. I was so impressed by him. He has remained #1 so far in my list of, Napoleon's marshals. And I'm really looking forward to, I'm happy to see he's still being awesome. But I'm pretty sure there'll be more, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Napoleon's marshals, and see if any can dethrone the MVP of Italy, Massena.
And gave his throne to his own brother Joseph instead. Another brother, Louis, was made King of Holland. His German allies, Bavaria and Württemberg, were elevated to the status of kingdoms, while Napoleon made himself protector of the Confederation of the Rhine, a new alliance of German states.
Yeah, I think it was the Confederation of the Rhine that really upset Prussia. And I also remember, this is from the oversimplified video that the memory comes back from, but I think it was this that kind of upset Prussia, and I believe it was Frederick William who was in charge at this point in Prussia. And I think it was his wife that really egged him on to fight Napoleon. His wife gave him a stern talking to, and he just had to fight Napoleon,
Would contribute 60,000 troops to his army. In recognition of the new reality, Emperor Francis of Austria formally dissolved the Holy Roman Empire, founded by Charlemagne 1,000 years before, but now without influence or purpose.
Every time the Holy Roman Empire comes up, there's always that one guy in every comment section. It was neither an empire, nor holy, nor Roman, but I know I've kind of been making fun of Austria a bit. They're Napoleon's punching bag. Oh, Austria always declaring war on Napoleon. Making jokes about it, but let me try to be more objective so people don't just misinterpret me as thinking Austria just sucks. I think Austria had a lot of reasons to have beef with France. It all started with the death of Marie Antoinette, right? She was Austrian. And then Napoleon, this guy, continually humiliating them, defeating them in battle, taking away, territory. And then also this, essentially Napoleon was in a way responsible for the complete end of the Holy Roman Empire. So I can understand a lot of Austria's beef with Napoleon and why they weren't really able to ever fully kind of have a lasting peace. And that kind of goes with all of Europe. Like, Napoleon really was fighting an uphill battle. All of Europe kind of hated him. And they had their reasons for hating him. Like, he was kind of... I feel like he was almost doomed to always fight Europe. Like, you know? I don't know, just like, it's almost like a sad reality. It's almost like he was always living on borrowed time, which obviously he probably could have done things differently to secure his throne, but like, you know, I don't know, it's just almost like, man, he was completely surrounded by enemies, you know?
Austria had been humiliated. France remained at war with Britain, Sweden and Russia. But in the summer of 1806, all eyes were on Prussia.
Napoleon as a monster has emerged from the mire. Yes, the Queen of Prussia.
The Prussian king, Frederick William III, regarded Napoleon with deep mistrust and had been about to join the coalition against him when news arrived of its disastrous defeat at Austerlitz. He was heavily influenced by his wife, the celebrated and popular Queen Louise, who detested France and Napoleon.
I don't blame him for being hesitant. If I heard about the Battle of, like, Austerlitz, I'd be like, you know what, maybe I don't want to fight this dude.
He led the influential War Party at the Prussian court. Matters came to a head over Hanover, a German state which had belonged to British King George III, been occupied by the French, and given by Napoleon to Prussia as compensation for other territorial changes. Now the Prussians learned that Napoleon had secretly offered to give Hanover back to Britain in exchange for peace.
Oh, dang. So Napoleon just like, here, Prussia, you want to have this? They accepted, and now Napoleon, or at least so they hear, wants to give it to Britain for some type of peace. Yeah, I'm imagining if I was in Prussia's minds, I'd be like, yeah, what the heck? You know, if I heard that.
Frederick's advisors now persuaded him that war was the only honourable course. But Prussia then made a basic strategic blunder, sending an ultimatum.
Yes, I remember, yeah, I remember mainly from Oversimplified, so I have looked this stuff up on my free time, but it seems to me that, yeah, the idea of a lot of these things that pop up, like the Oversimplified video, I don't know how he does it. He just makes history so much easier to just remember. I don't know, I have to give it Oversimplified. You know, great guy. But, yeah, they sent an ultimatum to Napoleon, which is like, oh boy. Yeah, Prussia did not know what it was dealing with, man.
Napoleon, without consulting its new allies in the Fourth Coalition. Their forces were too far away to help Prussia, who would now face Napoleon's Grande Armée with just the small state of Saxony for support.
Oh dear. The fine facade that was all Millwood. Behind the fine facade, yes.
In 1806, the Prussian army had a fearsome reputation that dated back 50 years to the reign of Frederick the Great.
Okay, I'm happy I knew that, yeah.
Napoleon, a student of history, regarded it with respect. But Prussia's army...
But it's not going to stop him from completely curb stomping that. Oh, man.
He had been allowed to rest on its laurels. Its generals were old. Its staff work hindered by bureaucracy and personal rivalries. Its movements ponderous and predictable. Prussian soldiers, however, could be relied on to fight with pride and determination, while Prussian...
I believe it was Napoleon who actually, I think he led some Prussian lancers, I think, into his Grande Armée. The Grande Armée. Oh no, I like saying it like that. I know I'm not saying it correctly. The Grande Armée. I don't know. The point is, I think, yeah, didn't he allow some Prussian lancers to come in? And I think he even praised them, so, you know. Yeah, Prussia... And I believe it was eventually Prussia. I think it was... It was in the Battle of Waterloo. It was, what's the Prussian commander's name? It starts with a B, but Burgo. I'm sure it'll come to me. But point is, yeah, it was Prussia who really came in clutch during the Battle of Waterloo, which was the final time Napoleon could rise to fight Europe. So Burgo, I'm sure he'll cover it eventually. But point is, yeah, Prussia eventually does learn, which I give them a lot of praise for. You know, they did get the last laugh on Napoleon. Well, all of Europe got the last laugh in a sense. But
cavalry was regarded as amongst the best in Europe. In October 1806, Napoleon invaded Saxony with an army of 166,000 men and 256 guns. Advancing in 3 columns, the French crossed the mountain forests of the Thüringer Wald, along roads carefully reconnoitred by scouts and spies. Napoleon intended to threaten Leipzig and force a decisive battle with the Prussian army, which he believed was near Gera. The Prussians were, in fact, further west, concentrating near Erfurt, on the west bank of the river Saale. Its commander, the Duke of Brunswick, had hoped to threaten the flank of Napoleon's advance. But wrong-footed by the speed of the French, he now ordered a retreat north to find a new defensive line. On the 10th of October,
so yeah, it's that famous speed of Napoleon and his corps system. Like, they were just super quick. Like, Napoleon's speed is really something to like marvel at this point. Like, just the amount of ground, and he just amazing. And yeah, I don't even think Prussia, like I said, I think at this point Prussia really isn't ready for Napoleon, and this was basically a really rude awakening, you know, the War of the Fourth Coalition.
Saalfeld, Marshal Lannes' 5 Corps clashed with a Prussian advance guard, commanded...
Okay, Lannes. I am learning a lot about Napoleon's marshals through these videos. I'm like keeping them in my head, like, you know, Lannes, you know, Massena, Murat. Like, I'm actually kind of happy that I'm remembering and putting like the mental pictures that they have, you know. I don't know, I'm just like, I'm happy that I'm retaining this knowledge and not just forgetting it every video.
by Prince Louis Frederick, the king's cousin. The Prussian force was routed, and Prince Louis himself killed in combat with a quartermaster of the French 10th Hussars.
Dang, Lannes got like, yeah, the cousin of the king? Dang. Good on you, Lannes.
3 days later, Lannes made contact with a large Prussian force near Jena and sent news to Napoleon. The French emperor, believing he'd found the main Prussian army, rapidly issued orders for his corps to concentrate for battle at Jena. Bernadotte's 1 Corps and Davout's 3 Corps were to cross the Saale and fall on the Prussian flank from the north.
Yeah, but there's a bunch. Napoleon believed it was... So this isn't the main army, this is like... But Napoleon thinks it is. So he's focusing all his attention on this. Which only means that he'll probably... Like I said, I know Napoleon wins, but I don't know the specifics of this battle, you know what I mean? So I know the outcome. Like, Napoleon's gonna dominate, but... I am kind of interested in learning about the specifics, because I knew Austerlitz really well. Though I won't lie that I don't know about Jena, really. So, okay. So Napoleon thinks he's facing the main army, which I'm assuming this isn't, so... Realistically, he would be able to crush this easily, and then probably learn of the main army and quickly catch up to them, or... Yeah, we'll see.
But Napoleon was wrong.
Oh.
Lannes faced a 35,000-strong Prussian rearguard, commanded by General Hohenlohe.
Rearguard,
the main Prussian army, 52,000 men under the Duke of Brunswick, was further north. Moving straight into the path, of Davout's 3 Corps.
Davout. I know Davout from last video, Austerlitz, where he went to reinforce, you know, one of Napoleon's sides, and I remember the Egypt video. I remember him saying he distinguished himself, and I also remember someone commenting about Davout. I've been saying Davout, but I think he said Davout, so. Yeah, okay, let's see what Davout. Oh, wait a minute. The main army's coming against 1 corps. Oh. Oh, wait, that doesn't sound good. Wait, oh crap. There is but one favorable moment. The great art is to seize it!
The Battle of Jena began at 6:30 AM on the 14th of October, in thick fog. Marshal Lannes' 5 Corps already had a toehold on the plateau west of the town and river. His first task was to drive back the Prussians and win room for the rest of the French army, arriving by the hour to deploy. His infantry led the way, and fierce fighting broke out for the villages of Cospeda, Clausewitz, and Lützeroda. Meanwhile, Augereau's 7 Corps advanced through a ravine, emerging onto the plateau on Lannes' left flank, while Soult's 4 Corps climbed steep tracks to form on his right. Napoleon joined Lannes in the centre of the battlefield, organising a 25-gun battery to support the attack on Vierzehnheiligen. The village was won, but then lost to a determined Prussian counterattack. On the right, around 10 AM, Soult's infantry secured Clausewitz, but was counterattacked on its right flank near Rödigen. A decisive charge by Soult's light cavalry drove off the Prussians, routing their infantry and capturing 2 enemy colours. As 6 Corps began to arrive on the plateau, its fearless but impetuous commander, Marshal Ney, ignored orders and dived into the fighting around Vierzehnheiligen, becoming briefly cut off by a Prussian counterattack,
Dang, Ney.
having to be rescued by Guard cavalry.
Ney. I'm pretty sure it was Ney who led the cavalry at Waterloo. I think it was Ney. But yeah, I don't know, when we just said Ney just charged in there, I just think of Leroy Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins! And they just jumped them. And it needed to be saved.
General Hohenlohe was expecting the arrival of 15,000 more troops under General Ruchel at any moment. Until then, he remained largely inactive, shoring up his line and ordering limited counterattacks. But he had run out of time. Napoleon had begun the day with just 25,000 men. By 12:30, a steady stream of reinforcements had brought his strength up to 96,000. As the Emperor rode past the Imperial Guard, one young soldier, eager to be sent into action, called out, "Forward!" Napoleon stopped and demanded to know who had spoken, then rebuked the soldier as a beardless youth who ought not to offer advice until he too had commanded in 30 battles.
I love that. He's like, yo, let's go. And then he's like, no, shut up. Until you've led armies, you don't get to speak. Napoleon, like, flexed on him. Napoleon literally did just flex on him, huh? And just shut him up. Asserted his dominance. I love that.
But the moment had arrived. Although the Guard, to its frustration, remained in reserve, the other French corps were ordered forward in a general attack. The Prussian army began to give ground. At first it kept its discipline.
Alright, so yeah, I like what Napoleon just did there. He's just like, well, we have way more than them, let's just go forward and push. And yeah, yeah, logical call, right? I do like the Prussians were trying to hold off until reinforcements. I definitely see that, but yeah, like there's just like that just happens in war, right? Like sometimes the other guys just don't show up on time, and then you're kind of like, oh, like I can't imagine. It's like this is a bit realistic. This is a bit, I don't know, personal. Like it's like when you're like in the grocery store with your mom, and then like she goes off to like look for more stuff. Like when you're in the line to the cashier line, you're putting all your stuff, and then you're getting ready to pay, and then your mom still isn't showing up when you're already there and you need to pay. Like, anyone ever have that experience? Oh boy, it's been the bane of my existence ever since like I was a child. I'm like, where are you? We're in the front of the line, mom. Oh man, why didn't you get what you needed to? I'm sorry, I'm getting too personal. Let's just keep going with this.
But then disintegrated into a general rout. Murat's cavalry were launched in pursuit, riding down and sabring hundreds of fleeing Prussians. General Ruchel's 2 divisions finally arrived, at the worst possible moment. They briefly held up 5 Corps' advance, but were soon outflanked, broken up by cannon fire, and charged down by French cuirassiers.
Your marshal must be seeing double. Napoleon a Colonel Falcon. I love that name, Falcon. ADC to Marshal Davout.
Meanwhile, 12 miles to the north, near Auerstadt, Marshal Davout...
Oh yeah, I legitimately just... What's with all that yelling? Okay, so, sorry about that, I'm just yelling downstairs. But point is, yeah, I completely forgot, Davout's fighting the main army right now, the main force, while Napoleon was just dealing with the rear guard, apparently. And, yeah, Davout's alone, isn't he? Like...
marching southwest, expecting to fall on the Prussian left wing at Jena. Instead, he encountered the Duke of Brunswick's main Prussian army, heading north to take up new positions. Davout's 3 corps, 27,000 men and 48 guns, was about to face odds of 2 to 1. While Bernadotte's 1 corps, which had orders to support Davout, was nowhere to be seen.
Bernadotte. Yeah, Bernadotte, the guy who eventually becomes like the ruler of Sweden and eventually does fight Napoleon. I know him for sure.
Davout, nicknamed the Iron Marshal, showed no signs of alarm. He formed his 1st division into a defensive line centered on the village of Hassenhausen.
Oh dang.
His infantry forming squares to repel a series of cavalry charges by General Blücher's advance guard.
Holy crap, he's just gonna fight them? I guess he doesn't know, like, that this is the main army, but... Dang, he's just gonna fight them. I don't know, like... He probably could have pulled back, or... Probably could have outrun them. I think the core system makes them faster, but... I don't know, he's just gonna fight them.
His other 2 infantry divisions arrived to strengthen the line, standing firm in the face of repeated Prussian attacks. But Prussian movements were slow and poorly coordinated. Nor did they use their numerical advantage to try and outflank Davout. At a crucial moment, the Duke of Brunswick was shot through the eyes, a wound that proved fatal. King Frederick William himself took command. Several Prussian units remained uncommitted, but the king, convinced he faced the main French army under Napoleon, dithered.
Dang. Okay, that's pretty cool of Davout. He's holding down the line using the great square formation. And even the king is like, man, this has to be Napoleon. Who else could it be? Wow, that's actually pretty awesome. It's kind of like a flex on its own.
Around 12:15, Marshal Davout counterattacked. Prussian army turned and fled.
Holy crap! Okay, well, holy crap. So, the Mad Lad... Okay, so... Okay, wait, I'm sorry, I'm like at loss for words. Okay, so... Davout shows up completely on his own. Bernadotte, who knows where the heck Bernadotte is right now. Him in one corps, but... Davout shows up, sees this numerically superior enemy, doesn't worry that he's alone, he just decides to hold the line instead of pulling back. He could probably have pulled back or retreated or met up with everyone else. Instead, he just holds the line and does it awesomely. They don't even, like, you know, like, they don't even, like, get through to his defense, and now he just decides, alright, I'm bored being defensive. Like, the man does not retreat, he holds the line, and he just decides to stop being defensive and just goes on the offensive against the main Prussian force, all by himself. Okay. Okay. I said earlier this video that, that Massena, because of his performance in the Italian campaign, was my number... Like, I've been kind of fanboying over him throughout the series, if you noticed. I think he has been displaced. Massena, I will put you in number 2. Davout, the Iron Marshal, you are number 1 now. That... He literally fried my brain. I was at a loss for words. Holy crap, he soloed, like... He just soloed them.
Davout had won a stunning victory against the odds, but at a heavy price. His corps suffered 25% casualties, 1 man in 4 killed or wounded, while inflicting twice as many losses on the Prussians.
Holy crap, that is insane. That is insane. Like, I know losing a lot of your own men is kind of looked down upon, but that's perfectly understandable. He won the battle. I don't even look down. Dude, that was the best performance of any of Napoleon's marshals I've seen. Yes, I put him above Massena now. Like, that is... He soloed Prussia. The dude soloed Prussia. Holy crap. All by himself, like... Dude, what can I say? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just shocked right now. I'm like... I don't know how to respond to this. Like... The Mad Lad, just like... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, what? They had, like, what, 50... Prussia had, like, 50k thousand, you know? He only had, like, 27,000, and he just, like... I just can't believe it. The dude could have pulled back. That's what I would have done. I'm like, oh, crap. Maybe we'll just pull back, find Bernadotte or something, and... But nah, he just held the line, and then he got bored of holding the line. He was like, alright, I'm done being defensive, and just pushes them back. Dude, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, Davout's number 1, guys. If you want to know my order of marshals, Davout, Massena, and the rest of the list, I'm like, I don't really have a rest of the list. That's just top 2. Like, yeah, and he killed, like, what? He killed that one dude who was, like, I guess in charge of the army, and then the king had to take control. He killed their general, the main dude, forcing the king to take control, and even the king was like, this is so awesome, like, this has to be, like, Napoleon's main force. It's like, nah, it's just Davout. Holy crap. That is impressive. That might be the best performance, I guess, after Austerlitz and Napoleon's performance there, but that was... I'm sorry, guys, I'm holding you captive right now. I'm just flabbergasted. I'm just shocked. I'm like... Davout, man. MVP of the War of the Fourth Coalition. MVP of the Marshals from that. It's gonna be hard for someone to overthrow Davout in my eyes now. Watch there be someone else, but I don't know about the rest of Napoleon's Marshals, but that's like... I don't think anyone's gonna top that. Like, what the heck? Tell the Marshal that he, his generals, and his troops have gained everlasting claims on my gratitude. I hope he's talking about Davout, because that is... Who else deserves that? Even Napoleon was like, yo, that's awesome. What the heck? This is what I'm talking about, like, I can't believe I didn't know who the heck Davout was. I've gone my entire life without knowing who this Chad was. Like, how have I lived 24 years and not known these people, the Napoleon's marshals? This is insane. I feel like I'm gaining new revelations, guys, in my heart right now. Like, Davout has a... Okay, I'm gonna stop fanboy. But, oh my goodness. But this is what I was talking about in past videos. Like, I think what I'm really loving about the series most of all is just learning that Napoleon obviously had an eye for talent. The core system, you know, he needed guys. Sure, he was the overall guy in charge of everything, but even the core system had to be independent. Even Napoleon, as we just saw, doesn't know everything. He's still just a guy, and even he can't keep track of everything that goes, you know? And with the marshals and the core system, it allows room for, I guess, individuality, independence. It allows room for independent action and for the marshals to make calls without Napoleon. And Davout made the biggest Chad, you know, call ever and fought. And, you know, it's like, point is like, yeah, Napoleon needed to put people in situations like marshals. He needed to put competent people, so when they were in situations where Napoleon couldn't directly interfere or give orders, they had to act on their own like this. And yeah, Napoleon had an eye for talent, like, and he chose amazingly with Davout. That is beautiful. That's just beautiful, guys.
When news reached Napoleon that Marshal Davout had engaged and defeated the main Prussian army, he reacted first with disbelief, then heaped praise upon the Iron Marshal.
Yo, save Napoleon. I was like, what the heck? Like, I think what got me most is when he just pushed them back. I was like, holy crap. Like, yeah, I'm like, I probably had the same reaction as Napoleon did. Minus he probably wasn't fanboying like I am. But yeah, surprise and then just nothing but praise. Davout, you genius of war.
Later awarding him the title Duke of Auerstadt. Marshal Bernadotte, in contrast, was nearly court-martialed for failing to support Davout.
Yeah, where the heck was Bernadotte at? Like, he was supposed to reinforce him. Like, he doesn't even say where he was. Yeah. I'm gonna try to be objective, guys. I'm not gonna try to, like, I know I kind of pick fun at people in this series, like, huh, Austria, you losers, always losing Napoleon, and, you know. But I actually, I do mean that as a joke, really. I try to be objective with you guys. So I'm not gonna, you know, be like, oh, Bernadotte, you suck. Like, you know, like, I'm sure maybe there was something, maybe he got stuck, maybe he made the call to not get involved, maybe he had specific reasons. I don't know the reasons, therefore I'm not going to condemn him. But apparently in Napoleon's mind, he failed. And yeah, but like, no need to be mad, dude. Like, Davout didn't even need Bernadotte. He was like, Bernadotte would have been dead way, like, no, I'm joking.
Napoleon's army began a masterful pursuit of the beast.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, I guess nothing bad happened to Bernadotte because of that, but yeah, like, maybe Davout was like, nah, it's fine, Napoleon. Bernadotte, it would have been too unfair if Bernadotte had been helping me. Like, it would have been too unfair for the Prussians. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That made my day. I'm all happy now. I'm all happy now. What the? I think this video might have brought the biggest reaction out of me from any of these Napoleon videos. By the way, guys, this is my birthday. This video I've decided to put on February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, the day I'm born. Well, I'm born on February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. I kind of hate it because all the annoying lovey-dovey couples are posting everywhere. Oh, me and my babe. Meanwhile, I'm like, well, you know, I was born the day before. I'm sorry. Point is, as a special thing, 2 videos this week. And this video, you know, coming up, yeah, so you know, this is my birthday, this video, February 13th. I'm officially 24 years old now, and, you know, I'm as old as Napoleon was when he began his awesomeness. So, who knows, maybe this year I might begin conquering, you know, my neighbor. No, I'm joking. But, yeah, man. This is the best birthday gift ever. Watching Napoleon videos and being impressed by Davu. I couldn't have asked for a better birthday video. And, yeah, I'll post a video on Friday, too. Two videos this week. It's my birthday, and it just feels like a special week for me. So why not?
Beaten Prussians, giving them no time to regather their strength. 2 weeks after the twin battles of Jena-Auerstadt, Napoleon's troops, led by Davu's heroic III Corps, entered Berlin. The next day,
Three
General
Corps
surrendered at Prenzlau. At Lübeck,
like I said, this is just a rude awakening for Prussia. This is like a complete stomp. Napoleon just walked up and just like slapped them down. Like, I don't know how else you're gonna put it.
General Blücher and 20,000 Prussians were driven out of the city in heavy fighting.
Blücher!
To surrender.
I think it was Blücher. Yes, like the name escaped me. Blücher. He's the guy who came in with the Duke of Wellington in the Battle of Waterloo. Yes.
While 25,000 Prussians besieged at Magdeburg surrendered to Marshal Ney. Prussia's army had been devastated by a Napoleonic blitzkrieg. In just 33 days, Prussia had lost 20,000 dead, 140,000 prisoners, 800 guns, and 250 standards. It was a humiliation that proud Prussians like General Blücher would neither forget nor forgive.
Yeah.
Unlike Saxony, King Frederick William refused to make peace with Napoleon. He continued to hold out in East Prussia, trusting in the approaching Russian armies to rescue his kingdom. Despite another glorious victory for Napoleon and the Grande Armée, the war was not won yet.
That felt more like a Davout victory, man. No, okay, yeah, they all did their part. But Davout's the MVP. You can't convince me otherwise. Alright, guys. So, yeah, yeah. I'm really happy this video, you know, has come out on my birthday. So, you know, I'm very happy. And yeah, Davout has officially... I can't believe Massena has been overthrown. But Davout, man, just like... That's guts, man. That's impressive. I don't think any, like, of Napoleon's marshals so far have impressed me that much. Like, that was great. I'm gonna stop before I just turn this into, like, another 50 minutes of me, you know, fanboying over Davout. So I'll leave it at that. I believe the next video is the Battle of Eylau? The one in the heavy winter. I'll see you all next video. Bye, everyone.